Let's talk about a moment in history that feels, well, a little too familiar right now. A time of absolutely soaring markets, a lot of political tension, and it really makes you wonder, are we just seeing the ghosts of 1929 in today's headlines? I mean, it does, right? That feeling that the market can only go up, that unease you feel in the political background, and, that really dangerous little voice that whispers, nah, this time is different. We've figured it out. That's not a new feeling. Not at all. In fact, it's an almost perfect echo from nearly 100 years ago. So to really get a handle on these echoes, we're turning to our source for this explainer, a book called 1929. And trust me, this is way more than just a history lesson. Think of it as a guide to understanding the crazy forces at play right now, and it's written by someone who is an absolute master of the subject. Okay, first, let's set the stage. We are talking about the Wall Street crash of 1929. And this wasn't just, a bad day on the stock market. This was a seismic event that literally changed the world. The scale of it is it's hard to wrap your head around. On a single day, Black Tuesday, the market lost what would be over $500 billion in today's money. Poof, fortunes just vanished. And it didn't stop there. This crash kicked off the Great Depression. The aftershocks of this thing, well, they still shape our world today. It really left a scar on the collective psyche. So for a story this massive, this important, you really need an expert guide to walk you through it. And lucky for us, the author of this book is one of the absolute best in the business. And that guide is Andrew Ross Sorkin. Now, if that name rings a bell, it's probably because he wrote Too Big to Fail, which is pretty much universally seen as the definitive book on the 2008 financial crisis. This is a guy who doesn't just report on history, he has a way of making you feel like you're right there in the room where it all went down. And it's not just me saying that. The acclaim for 1929 has been just huge. It was a #1 bestseller, it was one of President Obama's favorite books, and it was named a Best Book of the Year by, well, pretty much everyone that matters. Time, The Economist, Bloomberg, you get the picture. This is a major, major work. This quote right here from the Wall Street Journal just nails it. They call it one of the best narrative histories. And that word, narrative, that's the key. This isn't some dry, dusty textbook. It's a story, a really, really compelling one. So let's get into the story itself, because this is where the book really, really shines. The genius of it is how it looks past all the stock tickers and economic charts and finds the real human drama at the heart of all that chaos. First things first, let's be super clear about what this book is not. It is not just a story about money. Sure, money is a huge part of it, but it's not the whole story, not by a long shot. What it is a deep dive into human nature itself. It's about power. It's about psychology, that contagious ambition that can just flip a switch and turn caution into pure greed. And it's about the powerful illusion that this time, the boom will just last forever. And this right here really gets to the core conflict of the whole thing. Sorkin brings these characters to life, the visionaries, the titans, the dreamers who built these massive fortunes. But he also tells the other side of the story, the fraudsters, the financiers whose ambition led to absolute ruin, not just for them, but for millions of people. You have heroes and villains, and sometimes they're the exact same person. So how does he pull this off? Well, with some absolutely incredible sourcing. Sorkin got his hands on newly uncovered documents that nobody had seen before. It lets him take you behind the scenes, behind those closed doors, into the rooms where Wall Street and Washington were battling it out. He shows you what people were really saying when they thought no one was listening. Which, of course, brings us right back to where we started. Why does this story from almost 100 years ago feel so urgent, so important right now? It's because this book is basically a blueprint. It just lays bare these timeless cycles of speculation. For instance, it shows you how back in 1929, new technology, radio back then, fueled this belief that the old rules didn't apply anymore. Sound familiar? We're hearing the same thing about AI today. These are the kinds of warning signs we ignore at our own peril. So when you boil it all down, 1929 is more than a history book. It's a powerful, essential warning from our own past. The patterns are all there, the echoes are undeniable. The only real question left is, are we actually going to listen this time? Look, if you want to dive deeper into this incredible story and really understand its lessons for today, we've got you covered. The link to this book is in the video description.